I would like to now open the floor to questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. I want you to first introduce yourself, your organization, and the country where you come from, and ask your questions straight. So the gentleman at the back is raising his hand. Sir, you're recognized. Please.
Good morning. My name is Roberto Escalante. I am the Secretary General of the Association of Latin American and Caribbean Universities. I am based in Mexico. We have heard that all the panelists have gave us very interesting numbers about the coverage of basic education in the countries. I agree that that is a good result by itself. However, I wonder whether we can consider that by just having these high numbers of coverage, the problem of education, in this case of basic education or primary education, is resolved in terms of, for instance, how many of those children, what happens to those children, I mean, in their lives? Are they successful? Do they finish, I mean, the basic education? How they insert themselves in the labor market? What happens? Because sometimes we say, well, we have 80%, 90% coverage of basic education. And that's very good, yes, but not enough. I mean, so I would like to have the reaction from our panelists about what do they think in terms of, is just high numbers of coverage enough? Or we should look at other things like content of what are we teaching our students and how they progress or not in the future. Thank you.
That's a very interesting question. You are actually preempting the session that will happen later this morning, as there is a special session on how do we prepare our students for the world of work. But as it is, the question is directed to all our panel members. This is on, how you're able to measure and make sure that the kids are moving towards work, make sure that education is aligned with the requirements of the labor market. That's how I understand the question. So please.
I'm sorry. In Sri Lanka, our numbers is, I have already told the audience that almost 16,000 with disabilities. Currently, we are running at an operational capacity of 26 schools. But current standards and facilities are not that much well equipped. No substantial enough to include the larger base of disabled kids. So modernizing and expanding facilities for all disabled kids is our utmost responsibility. So that is why we are representing, as a country, we are representing this forum too. So having these kids for the development, I mean, our capacity will be enhanced, and the large number of kids without going to school, without having proper skills, soft or hard skills, is in this century, we think it's not fair for everybody. So as a country and as a government, we are trying our best to get them to the mainstream. We have obstacles. We have to overcome these obstacles.
Right, yeah, yes.
pour le cas du Cambodge. En ce qui concerne les enfants avec la mobilité réduite, nous comptons actuellement 32 000. Ces 32 000-là, nous avons également ce qu'on appelle une école spéciale, 5 écoles spéciales, 5 écoles spéciales pour ces enfants avec la mobilité réduite, mais nous ne pouvons pas couvrir tous ces enfants-là, c'est-à-dire les 5 écoles pour les enfants avec la mobilité réduite, on peut les scolariser à peu près 800 élèves par an, tout simplement. C'est comme Monsieur le ministre vient de soulever, vous savez très bien que le coût pour les équipements, pour les enfants avec la mobilité réduite est très très cher et le gouvernement a déployé beaucoup de moyens en fonction également de notre moyen afin de pouvoir élargir le programme, ce qu'on appelle l'éducation spéciale pour tous ces enfants-là. Au Cambodge, nous avons également le programme intégré, c'est-à-dire on peut les intégrer dans les écoles normales, les écoles standards, avec les enfants normaux, si on souhaite de dire. C'est que, mais par contre, même si on peut les intégrer dans les écoles normales, mais dans ces écoles-là, il faut créer des classes spéciales pour ces enfants-là. Sauf c'est qu'on peut régler, on peut résoudre le problème de distance pour les enfants avec la mobilité réduite, c'est-à-dire au lieu de se mobiliser dans les écoles, dans les 5 écoles qui sont dans 5 provinces, on peut les mettre dans les écoles qui se trouvent à côté de leur maison. Le problème, c'est-à-dire le défi pour nous ici, c'est que les parents des enfants ayant la mobilité réduite ne sont pas encore au courant des services de l'éducation que notre gouvernement peut donner et ils gardent, certains parents gardent toujours leurs enfants à la maison parce que là, il faut que nous sensibilisions les parents au niveau des informations concernant les services que nous pouvons donner à ces enfants avec la mobilité réduite. Voilà ce que... je pense que la question concerne également l'éducation de base pour le Cambodge. En ce qui concerne l'éducation de base, nous avons gagné notre pays, c'est-à-dire l'éducation pour tous, sachant que nous pouvons scolariser les enfants jusqu'à 98%, c'est-à-dire c'est seulement 2% d'enfants qui sont en dehors de notre système éducatif. Et comme vous le savez, que ces 2%-là, c'est vraiment difficile à atteindre parce qu'ils se mobilisent par-ci, par-là, etc. Et on a du mal à les trouver afin de les mettre dans notre système éducatif. Voilà ce que je voudrais vous partager pour le moment. Merci.
Thank you for that question. It was included in my presentation, however, I didn't, was conscious of time, so the really big challenge that we're facing as a country is a brain drain. I guess that would be a problem if you really prepare these kids for post-secondary or the world of work, because for lack of bigger universities, our students will be educated elsewhere. And once they're done, they tend to stay. elsewhere. And not most of them do come. So the student tracking as it is still a challenge for Palau. However, there are actions that we've taken through the Palau National Scholarship Program. One of them is to try and lure graduate students to come in to Palau and to paid work as an internship program so that they can see what's happening, what are their interests in their junior and senior year. The other one is a loan program to have graduates, newly graduate out there, come in, take that, while we pay for their loans, give them loans to continue their education. When they get back home to work for certain years, those loans will be forgiven. And a very big part of that as well, as a lifelong learner, as leaders of education, we also have to serve as role models. I too also, myself is a recipient of the scholarship program. I'm completing a dissertation right now. And so as a role model, I want our kids, our parents, community to see that it's happening. It can happen through our locally based program to have the kids get educated and to return home or stay home. So thank you for the question, and I hope I answered it. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. In Maldives, 12 years of education is mandatory. Though we have access, again, it is when we consider the geographic distribution, the quality of education in different islands, it differ. And major challenges that we face are getting quality teachers in all of our schools. Actually, being a very small country, we have 214 schools, one in each island. So providing all the facilities, all the resources and quality teachers to all these islands, it is a challenge for us. And when considering inclusive education, there are students who can't come to the school due to physical disabilities or other disabilities, but we have a way of reaching out to them through a homeschooling program. We have 4 different types of inclusive education or special education methods that are provided in the Maldives. One is, as I just told you, inclusive education. The second is we bring them to the school, and they are in the school for 2 to 3 hours, and they are actually put in the mainstream classrooms. And the third method is totally putting them in the mainstream classroom and going to inclusivity. But we do have, as all the other ministers said, we also have some obstacles and challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, those are very substantive discussions, sharing on the issue of preparing our students for the world of work. As I've mentioned earlier, there's going to be a session, there's a special session, that's session number 4, to talk about student preparation and how best they can serve the world. And it actually goes beyond the question of us in education providing the labor necessary for the market to move forward. So it really goes beyond that. But as it is, the discussion this morning is substantive, and my suggestion, if you have any other questions from the floor, yes, we will have this. Yes, ma'am, you will be the last person to ask the question. For the rest, if you have any other questions to the ministers, please do so. Try to have coffee with them later on. Please introduce yourself. I'm sorry, ma'am. Neo, right? Neo, please, if you can speak slowly so that they can catch up on the question. So what exactly is the question, ma'am?
The question is, how do we ensure that we provide early identification and intervention to our children? Basically, I would want to hear how the health sector and education sector are actually working together to ensure that we identify our children very early and we make sure that we follow them through in their education process until they complete their education. The other question is regarding the children that go from schools due to psychosocial issues. What interventions do we have for them and to make sure that we retain them in our schools until they complete their formal education? I know it's the challenge with many education systems. So really I just want to learn from them how they are doing that because they've indicated that they achieve almost
Yes.
higher success rate.
Yes, yes, right. Thank you very much. The question is about mental health of young people and how it impacts on education, the state of things in your country, please.
In Maldives, with the current government, we started a health screening program. In the early stages, in the foundation stage, during the health screening, we identify students who are susceptible to have learning difficulties or other disabilities, and we refer them to a medical facility. And from there, they will be continued. But it's at the very early stages, we need to develop on that.
Thank you.
Actually, although we are high performing general education, we are still struggling with this identification process. So identification, early identification, as you said, it's not that much easy task for each country. Even I think even in the Western, developed countries, might have this challenge. We are struggling. And I was appointed as the Minister of Education just 8 weeks ago. But our secretary, the additional secretary is over there. He might have most effective answer than me on this regard. Mr. Atnayaka, can you,
Raise your hand.
yeah,
Raise your,
yeah, he's the additional secretary to the ministry, and he's working over there for decades.
thank you. Okay, okay, let us just proceed. Yes, Dr. Sam, would you want to?
I just raised about related to early identification the children with disability. In Cambodia, we have also the mechanism that we install in the primary school to identify the children with special needs and with but we cannot do in every school because in our country we have more than 7,000 primary schools. So we can touch about 30%, something like that, in the primary school. So the remaining children that we cannot touch on, we base also on the data provided by the village, by the chief of a village, by the chief of a commune, by the head center, so that we can give the intervention on time. And related to the second question about the dropout, You know well because according to our experience, we cannot formulate the model intervention to each school, to each zone. We have to understand why they drop, and in the Cambodian context, the student parent play a crucial role in the education of their children. So if we can work on with the community, work with the chief of commune, the chief of village, the authority, local authority, or something like that, we can give intervention on the dropout, and we can reduce the dropout rate in those commune, those community. Thank you.
Let me take this 2 minutes and try and answer only the first question. The partnership of the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Health is an enduring one. Identification of students or children with disabilities starts during pregnancy. This is where the healthcare people would contact our special ed personnel and say, hey, this is what's happening, whether it's learning disability or physical ability. And that's where the law takes effect that covers 0 to 21 years of age. And that time, because by law, the health, by constitution, the health is free according to all the citizens of Palau. So they've been coming to school not just for the special education program, but for dental and immunizations. But to try and answer the question is that the special ed program within the Ministry of Education is working closely on a daily basis with the Ministry of Health to identify not just physical but learning disabilities as well. So that's the program that we've been doing over the years. Thank you.